Sky Cries Mary for you. As you can see, we're deep in the forest of Belleville, L'Hôte de Belleville, aujourd'hui. I was going to go over on the lawn, but it's littered or populated too profusely, profoundly, and densely today. So that was a little song I rediscovered, and I played it at Jam night on Montmartre the other night. But I still need to figure out the rest of it. So, somewhere a king has no wife, and the wind whispers Mary. See, it's a little hard to reach these notes on the old classical acoustic right here. So last night I went to a fancy vernissage, art opening at the Mairie de la 5e, which is the courthouse, technically, of the, but it's more like the main administrative building for the 5th arrondissement, ici à Paris. And so that was pretty fancy. I was underdressed. I was going to stop by home after leaving the atelier, but I was running late for a change, so I just went straight there. But I showed up straight on time. Ended up, there was another, it was funny, man. There were a lot of people in fancy dress. There was, like, I suppose, the mayor of the 5th, the artist who was showing her photographs, a priest, and a few other official-looking people with fancy handbags and shoes and so forth, and they were giving these speeches, and the chamber was so echoey, you know, all marble and everything. It was reconstructed at the beginning of the not the century before, at the end of the century before, and so, you know, when the amplified words bounce off the stone building, it's a little bit hard for me to comprehend, so I kind of zoned out. But I wanted to go because a couple years ago I went to an art opening of a street artist around here called Cries is her name, and her stuff, I really like it. Look her up. It's 13_BIS, I think. And she a little butterfly. Let's see if we can get him to come here. No, okay. I really like her style. What she does is she takes these old engravings and makes collages and blows them up and pastes them on the side of buildings, and they're quite cool. That we kind of share an aesthetic. If you've ever seen any of my animated work, my animated film work, cinema. And anyway, so I wanted to talk to these guys because I want to publish a few of my tiny rooftop paintings as NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Mint is the proper term. So I got to, I saw this other dude, it was like a bunch of fancy people all dressed up to the nines, a bunch of old people, like really widowers, I mean, I hate to say it, but widows, I hate to say it, but, and there was this a snack table set out, and, or hors d'oeuvre table, really nice stuff, but all the old people, they were magnetically attracted to it immediately. They just go up there, take their plate, and they sort of shuffle back and bump into you and everything like that. They had a couple bottles of wine out. I didn't partake because I had to work later in the evening. And so that was a good time. And so there was one dude who was sort of looking around and seeming out of place, and so I went up and said, oh, there's my target, so I'm going to talk to him, if I figure out why he's here. Real nice guy named Christoph, retired engineer, author, kind of like an art dealer on the side. He's really into crypto. And so he actually introduced me to the boss of the company that was the crypto company that was sponsoring the event. They're called Danai.io. And so I met the principal. And then I saw this guy that I had met at the art show a couple years ago, and we had a little chat, mostly about sports. But anyway, so I got the card, and I'm gonna give him the mail today to try to publish some of my tiny rooftops as NFTs. Anyone out there into NFTs? I can let you know the link as soon as it's up. What else do we have? I went live on YouTube yesterday, but I'm not sure what happens because it doesn't show the video in the regular video list. I'll have to see what sort of numbers it got today. Oops. Oops. No. No. What's going on here? Well, anyway. Well, anyway, so I need to practice that too. That's Police, that's Murder by Numbers. That reminds me, I used to go to the open mics and I'd run into this guy named Pascal. And his hair was always a mess, worse than mine. And he'd always have a glass of wine with him, and he seemed pretty wasted by 7 or 8. And he'd go up and do songs a cappella, completely out of tune, not even an attempt to respect the form of the song. And so what I wanted to do was learn all these Police songs, and he does this one, Murder by Numbers. So what I wanted to do was learn the music so that we could have sort of a strange, performance. I thought that would be funny. So that's why I picked out this song. And it's kind of fun to play, little jazzy Andy Stewart situation. Then here, of course, is Roxanne, not to be confused with the wife of Alexander the Grand. Roxanne, you don't have to wear that dress tonight. Walk the streets for money. You don't care if it's wrong or if it's right. And here's a little pre-chorus. Oh, that's interesting. Roxanne. 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 Okay, so that is Roxanne, written by Stang when he was actually at Paris il y a des années. Nice little piece of trivia there. And in related musical news, let's see. Oh yeah, I want to run through Stomping Ground of Prophets real quick if I have it, because I finally think I figured out. I remembered how to play it. It says drop D on here, but I'm just gonna do it in standard tuning. Well, anyway, you get the idea. So in musically related news tonight, I'm going to go see a bluegrass band from America, or mostly. No, it's mixed. There's the guy leading the charge is this guy Chris, who actually grew up in Renton, which is just a few miles, yes, in America, miles away from Seattle. Gent on a bicycle, and real chill guy. He's like the type of guy who gives you full attention when you're talking to him, really mellow. And then there's Caesar, who plays the mandolin. He's a native New Yorker. So they're based out of New York. There's a guy named Shane, I believe, who sort of like in my situation, it's funny. So he's 3 years in and he has a kid. And when I moved here, it was 3 years before we had our daughter, started our daughter at least. And so he's an American guy from, I think, Pennsylvania, married a French lady. And then who else? Oh, there's a French violinist, sort of like a character out of a film. It's really cool, or out of the medieval ages. And who else is there? So Shane plays stand-up bass and guitar, and there's one other guy who I can't quite see right now. Well, anyway, there's this place, and again, so they have their concerts. Say, oh, where is it? Oh, it's just down the street. So it's just down the street from my place. So that's at 8 o'clock. C'est un endroit qui s'appelle Le Duarte. C'est une espèce d'une auberge de SDF ou quelque chose comme ça. C'est un endroit où les gens qui n'ont pas beaucoup de moyens peuvent être accueillis pour boire du café. Et apparemment aussi le vin pas trop cher. Donc, si vous voulez nous rejoindre, le bar, ça commence à 21h ce soir. Et c'est sur le rue Ménilmontant, presque au niveau de rue des Pyrénées. C'est sur le côté gauche quand vous montez. C'est pas loin, c'est le rue de la mer, je crois. Et puis vous montez un petit peu. Et c'est une petite porte sur le gauche là. Allez.